guys, good morning. That is my dude in the background who got home early from work. So a little bit later, but like I have a watch on. A little bit later, but I was taking like extended shower, get all nice and clean. Anywho,
Shower with Wally.
Well, Wally likes to come take a shower too. While I was in the shower, he was on top of the toilet, and he threw the shower curtain aside. And usually he'll jump on our back, but he decided that he wanted me to pick him up and put him on my back, and then he likes to drink the shower water. But yeah, he likes to hang out with us in the shower. He likes to get a little wet, and then he takes off running. He decides, you know, I'm all done taking a shower, and then you have to open up the curtain, and he jumps on out. So anyway, just waiting for some more peeps to come on in. I wanted to continue. Hey, Farm Transformation, what's up? I wanted to continue with some of the crystals that I was showing off in last week's live chat. Since we only got through some of the... My cats come. Oh, they come to the bath too. Well, you know, some cats are water cats, and we think that our Puma is dead. Cheeky, what's up? We think our little Puma was meant to be in the bath because actually when he spreads his little whatever paws, he's got webbed toes. It's so cute. He's got like these little like webby armpits and little webbed toes. I think he was really meant to be a flying squirrel or a water cat. So anywho, so yeah, definitely want to get into some crystals. And when we get to the end of the live chat today, you know how I'm usually always pulling a card for everybody. I want to use my Santa Muerte deck. I got this one on Thursday, and I was like kind of bummed, you know, because I was like, you know, I hadn't done the pre-order for Amazon. I was like kind of waiting, you know, usually I wait till like a deck comes out, and then I will be like, okay, now I'll put my order in. What up? Good morning. Good morning. And I was like, oh well, you know, they you know, it's not gonna come out or something like that. And yeah, Wally will eat the toothbrushes if, you know, if he's in. That was more like our old cat though. But there's Wally. Hold on. Wally, say good morning. Okay. Show off your pink tummy. Pink tummy!
Mm-hmm.
He's got a whiffy butthole too, but you guys don't need to see that. Wally says hello. So anyway, so I was just like hanging out on, you know, Facebook or whatever, and one of my Facebook peeps was like, hey, I got 6 of the Santa Muerte deck, you know, and for 6 people, you know, say they want to get it, you know, I'll sell it to them. And I was like, okay. And so, you know, I was very fortunate to get it. Yeah, and I think this is now yeah, it was like all these delays, and they had like over like they did too much of the pre-orders, and they didn't have enough of the product. So yeah, so I'll definitely be pulling from this, and I have to say that I don't know, it's just interesting when you hold the deck in your hands for some reason. And it's not like it's one of those holographic decks or anything, but when I look at the cards, it's almost as if the images are moving, and it's not the artwork either. It's not that type of art where it's like, you know, it looks different from, you know, different angles. It's like it's moving, it's alive, it's got a lot of energy to it, and I don't find it, you know, macabre or scary at all. I think of it as a very positive deck, but, you know, we'll get into that. And another deck, there was a couple. Yeah, definitely they had like oversold. I got this one. I had been waiting for this deck to come out for probably like a couple of years, but it's the Tarot in Space. Let me show you guys the Tarot in Space deck. I would have to say sometimes my English is brilliant. I can't even spit out words like remote control sometimes. But yeah, there was, I had, I think it's when I bought the Dame Darcy, and there was like another artist had put like kind of their card in there and said, I'm going to be creating, this tarot in space sometime in the future. It was supposed to be like 2016 or 17. And what up, Sammy? And finally I saw it on Etsy, and I was like, oh my God, that's the deck. And I don't know, it totally reminds me of Futurama, if you guys ever saw that. That cartoon. Well, it was like an adult cartoon, but I don't know, I think it's pretty awesome sauce. So yeah, so we've got that here today. And you guys saw that stuff last time. Oh, I was in my my local woo-woo shop before I went to go get my teeth cleaned at the dentist on Thursday, and Sammy, I should show you. I actually made this. Well, I didn't make the shark tooth, obviously, but I bought the shark tooth at the Rock and Gem show, and then I've always wanted to put one on a nice leather cord. Excuse me. So I have like leather cording laying around because I have like my arts and crafts and stuff like that, and so I just kind of like wrapped it up and knotted it. And if I turn it around, I knotted the end, but I put this little like ring on it that slides up and down so that you can like make it shorter or longer. So there you go. Wait, hold on. Shorten that up a little bit. So yeah. Thank you, thank you. So anyway, while I was in my local woo-woo shop, I had my eye on this deck for a while, but I had like decided not to get it. But then I kept seeing that it was like at this shop and it wasn't selling. So, oh, what up, Evelyn? My homegirl. Oh, dinner's in the oven. What are you making tonight? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I hate having to retie necklaces, so they always like fall off. And I kind of got the idea. I can't say it's like my own brilliant idea. I kind of got the idea from a necklace I got at SeaWorld, or my boyfriend got me at SeaWorld, and it had like a little like bead on it, and I was like, ooh, veggie burgers and hash browns. Oh, hash browns. Hash browns, my only weakness. No, I lie. There's a lot of weaknesses to food. So anyway, so I got this flower oracle, the Flower of Life oracle, and it kind of reminds me of, my brain goes blank and I can't. Well, it was like the oracles on abundance, by what's his name, Mike Dooley. But yeah, since I'm like a photographer, I'm totally into photographic art. So I totally dug these images, and I've been really feeling a pull lately to kind of create my own oracle deck. As much as I like tarot, I really like the feel of oracle cards because, since I am such an intuitive type reader, I love looking into the picture of something, and since, photography, I see like pictures everywhere. They're kind of like the size of kind of any of those is it like the Hay House decks, or yeah, those kind of large type oracle cards. So yeah, thank you, Dead Cheeky. I was thinking of, I was like, well, would I want to put out like one oracle deck, or would I want to put out like one day like a couple of oracle decks? Because I have all these ideas in mind, of like, I love beautiful pictures of nature. I could take all these wonderful pictures of nature, but I also want to do one day a Wally deck. Oh, rock pool, there you go. Yeah, definitely that's like the size of the rock pool decks. But yeah, like a Wally oracle, all of the different crazy sides of Wally, when he's going crazy, when he's showing off his pink tummy, when he's playing in the shower, when he's playing with his toys, and going crazy through his little cubes and stuff like that, when he's eating Puma chow. I think that would be kind of cool. I mean, it would obviously just be like me showing off my awesome Puma, but like, you know, so that's kind of been brewing lately. So I don't know, maybe, yeah. So yeah, I'm just kind of putting that out there that one day that's coming. It's just in my brain. I have to like solidify that a little bit more. So yeah, so this is definitely a cool deck. Let's see, what else do I have around me? Oh, and then there was one more deck that I got at the, well, it's called Amethyst Moon, and it's in La Mesa, where I go get my teeth cleaned at the dentist. And I thought this was odd, and it was different because there was like all these tarot and oracle decks, and then there was this, and it's called Old Calendar, and it's playing cards, you know, and I looked on the back and I was like, so dead cheeky, you're gonna like this since you like playing cards. So it's got a nice, you know, plastic tin. You know, I thought it would just come in this like little flimsy box, but I love that it, you know, actually came in something hard so that I can like throw this in my purse and you know, and not get destroyed. So anyway, I read a little bit on it, and in Mandarin it kind of has like the names of all the different pieces of artwork on each card. So every there's a different picture on every card, but they are playing cards, and they're from kind of different eras, like the 1930s, the 1940s, late 1920s, in China, and I think it said the Shanghai region, and it was like girly pictures, like what was considered like taboo and risque, and they've put it on playing cards, and I think it's awesome. So, sorry, she's got like a little bit of a boobie showing there, but what I thought was interesting is like for risque pictures, a lot of them are like mommy and child pictures, and you know, sometimes it's like mother daughter, and I was like, oh, okay. Hey, whatever floats your boat back then. But I love the images. Let's see, where's, oh, this one's the one that caught my eye. Because when I was in China, they literally had a couple of girls, oh, where were we? We were like in these bonsai gardens, and there was a couple of girls that were outside, you know, playing on these instruments, and they were playing Christmas music, and we were like, because we went in July, and you know, they're telling us about, you know, pathways, how in China they don't like to have straight pathways or straight bridges. They like to make them, you know, have like angles at them, because they believe that evil cannot walk a straight or cannot walk a crooked path, you know, so it, you know, it can only go straight. So if you created something straight, you know, evil would get you or something. So in order to trick evil or darkness, you know, they would create these crooked paths. And we kept seeing like Christmas decorations kind of in different restaurants that we were in, and we had to just ask, you know, and then because there was like this restaurant, and this woman was like playing on the harp, and it was beautiful, but she was playing like Here Comes Santa Claus, and we're like, okay, what's with the Christmas music? And they said, well, because we know we have some American guests here today, they said the most American thing that we know of is Christmas. You guys are all into Christmas. And I thought that was so awesome. So yeah, these are pretty rad cards. I think they were like $6. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if they sell them online. I mean, you know, this is like the first time I've ever seen them, but they're called Old Calendar. And I should take a picture with my phone. Yes, Christmas in July. I should take a picture of my phone, because I have Google Translate, and I love, like, you know, figuring out what certain things say in certain languages. But anyway, in the past, or in the back, I don't know, I'm like, it says the beauties dressing in Chinese styled long gown and fashionable clothes in 1920s and 30s made the popular time of calendar pictures. So calendar was usually called beauty's calendar. So yeah, that's pretty awesome sauce. So yeah, I'm going to be working with those. I haven't had quite, you know, a chance to really get to know them, but it's going to be another fun deck. There's another deck that I'm I'm having a hard time connecting to, and I've decided, since I have like so many decks, that I did this like big deck clearing, so I have like 20 some decks that I just put off to the side, and I'm gonna just end up trading with people or gifting with people. And so I'll probably end up making a video where I just show off all the decks and be like, hey, if you want me to gift you this, or hey, if you want to trade this, seller goes, what's up? Then, you know, I'd be more than happy to give away some of my decks, because I like to keep just, you know, the things that I love. And if I'm just kind of keeping something around just to kind of keep it around, I don't know, I think it takes up too much of my energy. So anyway, I got this deck because I had seen it all over the place, but it was The Universe Has Your Back. And although I think it's beautiful, and I think the messages are beautiful, and I think, you know, from an Instagram standpoint, they're beautiful, but I'm having a hard time connecting to them. I'm keeping them by my bedside so that I keep using them, and, you know, and we'll see how it goes. But, you know, if I continue to maybe not have a connection to them, I'll probably just end up giving this away. So, ooh, Mystical College in Tarot is back. What up? Oh, I love your little ghosty. Hey, ghost. Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see what comes of it. And I always, you know, I don't usually, I like to like sell my decks. I usually like to do an exchange, like, hey, I'll exchange some crystals for a deck, or like sometimes I'm just like, hey, if you really want this deck, I'll just like sell it to you or just give it to you. There was a lady one time, she watched one of my my deck review videos, and she was talking about how much she loved this like certain deck, and but it was kind of pricey because it came out of Australia. And she was like, oh, you know, I wish I really had that, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it was a deck I wasn't connecting that well with. And I was like, well, you know, if I sold it to you, would you want it? And she was like, well, I don't have that much cash. And I was like, how about $10? And she's like, I could do $10. I was like, okay, you know, and I felt pretty good about it, you know. So sometimes good things like that just happen. Okay, so let's get into some crystals. There was something I was going to say. We'll talk about that later, but let's get into some crystals. Okay, so I showed a couple of my my storage bins of crystals last time, so I'll probably do just like 1 or 2 storage bins this time, but I keep them in these storage cases that I get from Michael's. And the reason that I love these storage cases is because the dividers come out so that you can make them are the same. Oh, you know, Sapphire, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, if I was sending out packages, I think that would be kind of cool, like to send like one of the messages with it. That's, thank you very much. Don't look, no, look. So anyway, so what I had said in last time's chat, I just put like little cards with my crystals, because sometimes some of my crystals look similar, and I don't know why, but I feel like it's rude if I don't know my crystal's name. Like, I'm just like, hey, you thing, you know. I feel like they all have names, and, you know, and I don't want to mix one up from the other, because it's like, you know, it's like calling a student by another student's name, you know, kind of from like the teacher perspective. So yeah, so I like to keep their little cards with them just so I don't mix up their names and I don't offend them. So anyway, my first little stone, this was actually one of my first-ish type stones, was this bloodstone, and it doesn't really have like the red on it. I mean, there's I guess a little rust color there, but it's more just a really dark green. And I work with this every now and then, but mostly when I'm doing spell work. Okay, and then the next 2 stones, I keep these together even though they're 2 different types of stones, but I have rhodonite, which again was one of my little beginner stones when I was first kind of collecting buying stones, because I've always like collected rocks, like since I could grasp things with my hands. Oh, time for dinner. Thank you, Eveline, for stopping by. Have fun with dinner. And I have rhodochrosite. So because they sound similar, I kind of keep them together. They could be besties. So yeah. Oh, oops. And then I also have a little piece of topaz. It's like when I first started, I got these like little tiny crystals, which there's nothing wrong with little tiny crystals, but for some reason now I like to like hold like big chunks of rocks and crystals in my hand. But here's my little piece of topaz. Yay, party, party. Okay, so story around shungite. I really wanted to test the theory that it can purify water or add minerals into water. So I did, well, I took I took like some of my filtered water, like it was, you know, already filtered, because I didn't really want to like let this sit in tap water because our tap water is not that great to drink here. And so I just put it in some, oh, thank you. I just put this in just in a glass of like the filtered water out of our refrigerator, and I let it sit for like 5 days, you know, and I had another glass with just the refrigerator water in it, you know, without a stone in it. And so I had them both sitting you know, in the fridge, because, you know, don't want the water to get warm and nasty, and and we get those little gnats in the house. And so so after like 5 days, I did a little taste test. So I drank the regular water, and then I drank the water with shungite in it, and it literally did taste like the mineral water that I'm used to drinking with out in Julian. So I don't know if you guys know San Diego too well, but we have Julian, and Julian's kind of like a little small country town. They're best known for their apples, so they have like the best, like the Julian apple pies, and the Julian apples are just freaking awesome. It's beautiful in the winter, it's beautiful in the spring, it's a little hot in the summertime, but they have this awesome just mineral tap water up there, and that's what it tasted like after 5 days of putting the shungite. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, I can't drink our tap water here. Oh, you could do it after 8 hours. So yeah, I like to do my little crystal experiment. Sorry, there's like a eyelash. I've been having eyelash issues. So yeah, I can attest to that shungite can put something in your water. It makes it have that minerally taste that I'm used to when I am in Julian. This one is a fun stone for me, and this is Nebula Stone. So sometimes when I'm just in playful mood, for some reason I'm always reaching for my Nebula Stone, and actually this is going to be the stone for today. Like I always tell you guys before, I always carry a stone with me. Oh, there it is. There was a massive eyelash. I always carry a stone with me for the day, and I don't have any stones in my pocket right now. So Nebula Stone is going to be my stone for the day. But yeah, to me, I know like nebula, it's like outer space and all of that, but it feels more like fairy realm to me, if that makes sense. So it's like more earthy, fairy realm, playful. So yeah, I like my Nebula Stone for that. I do have a couple of pieces of my aventurine. So one being a little bit more see-through than the other. And I think I was gifted this one. This one is chiastolite, or chiastolite. For whatever reason, it makes me think of spiders. You know, it's got the little cross on it, but I always think of spiders for whatever reason. And I don't like spiders, but for reason, I like this stone. So sometimes I'm like, well, if I carry this stone, maybe the spiders leave me alone. So yeah, I have a little chiastolite. And this one that I just dropped is nice and light, and this is sodalite. And this was kind of a favorite of my boyfriend's mother, who's not here anymore, but she used to have, well, I now have her beautiful sodalite necklace. So sodalite's fun. Sodalite is really calming, and helps when I need to have more voice in my classroom and I need to lay down the law a little bit more. I feel like Sodalite helps out with that. Scholasite, this one's awesome, and I don't think the camera's gonna pick it up, but it's almost like 3D, and I think that this is good for everything. It's good for meditation, it's good for spell work, it's good just to carry around. It just feels good. It's just one of those feel-good stones. Okay, and then somebody had mentioned my copper ball. I love my copper ball, and dude, it is heavy. It's so interesting. You know, the chemical composition of, you know, certain rocks and stones and things like that and minerals, how you could have something like this and something like this, and this weighs barely anything, whereas this is just like a hunk of, you know, it's heavy. So yeah, I love working with my beautiful copper ball. It's also fun to sleep with underneath my pillow, and I have a Tempur-Pedic bed, so it's not like, you know, it's too lumpy, and I have a Tempur-Pedic pillow too, so I don't really feel the stuff that's underneath my pillow. I have like all kinds of like herbs and rocks underneath my pillow. Sometimes when my boyfriend moves the pillow, he's like, what the heck do you have under your pillow? I'm like, they're my dream pillows, my dream herbs and my stones. And he's like, okay, next I have my sunstone. And I don't work with sunstone a lot, and you think I would because I'm such a like a sun person, summer baby. And I have this sunstone as well, and I actually got this from my cousin. I inherited her like little mini rock collection when she passed away. Actually, she passed away at the age that I am now, so she passed away kind of young. Okay, and then I have tons of pieces of labradorite. Labradorite has kind of been big for me the past couple of days. So we'll start raw. We'll start off raw. Okay, so we got my raw labradorite. I forgot where I picked this one up. I think this was at my local crystal shop. Labradorite. This was my very first piece of labradorite, and I think my most beautiful. Yay. And then this I got at the Rock and Gem show. So it's my biggest piece. Yeah, labradorite has been like a thing in the past couple of days. Not that it's never not a thing, because I love labradorite, and I had a beautiful labradorite, giant labradorite pendant that my boyfriend had bought me, and I had turned into a necklace, but that was one of the things that unfortunately had gotten stolen in the house. Okay, I also have a strophalite, just nice and glittery, and looks fabulous in the sun. I have goldstone because I make goldstone bracelets, but I don't have any blue goldstone, so see if we can get on in there. So that's my blue goldstone, and I know that's like man-made or whatever, but it's still cool. Okay, and then we're getting into all my obsidians. I think I'm just gonna do this one box because there are some other things that I want to talk about. Yes, it's literally glittery. So okay, so these two pieces of obsidian were gifted to me by a friend of mine who lives, or he's from Ohio, and he had kind of found it by an Ohio river somewhere. So one day I think I actually want to polish those. I mean, they kind of look like leather, which is kind of cool. And then I have my Apache tier. And then I have my snowflake obsidian. And I love this one, and I put it in dream pillows a lot. This one is a new acquisition, and it's spiderweb obsidian. And this is a gold sheen obsidian. I think you guys can kind of get that in there. That's cool. This one I also haven't worked a lot with, but I do like it, like being near me, and that is my sardonyx. Kind of one of my very first stones. I wish I had all the stones that I grew up with, because I used to collect all these like different rocks at my grandparents' house up in Ridgecrest, California, which is the high desert. And I would collect pieces of lava rock that was out there. I would collect the seashells that I found in the desert, you know, when, you know, thousands of years ago the ocean used to be there. They had just these really cool desert rocks, and I was so fascinated, you know, ever since I was like 2 or 3 years old, and I'd be running around the property with the family dog, you know, I'd go and I'd collect all these rocks and, you know, bring them home. And my mother never let them in the house because she was like, don't bring those dirty crap in the house. So I'd have to keep them like in a pile outside, and I would cover them because I didn't want anybody to steal my rocks. And but yeah, that was always a thing. I always had like rocks in my pockets, which my mom would get upset because then you had rocks in the laundry and rocks in the washer. But yeah, I always had a ton of rocks. And I do again. Okay, so I have different forms of aragonite. I have the Sputnik version, which is pretty cool. I got that one in OB, which if you don't know what OB is, it's Ocean Beach here in San Diego. And one of the taglines for Ocean Beach is "Keep OB weird," because it's full of like old hippies, like literally old hippies, and it's just a weird little beach town. It's not, you know, it's not. Well, I mean, they're trying to make it like more hipster, which they don't really like. Trying to keep like the hipsters out, but it is just old hippies, old like army vets, people just kind of, you know, just rolling around. And you would think that the people there are homeless. They're really not homeless. That's just their style, you know, the beach bum style. It's a really, really chill, laid back place. So I like getting some of my stones there. This was a birthday gift from my stepmom. She got me a little Sputnik-y one. And she also got me the polished version of aragonite. Oh, dude, you would totally love OB. If you guys are ever in San Diego, I highly suggest OB. I mean, it's got a strip that people like driving around, and there's a lot of really cool restaurants to eat at that are just like establishments. They've just always been there. But there's OB's a lot bigger than that, and it's just cool to like walk around and you never feel unsafe, you know. I mean, sure, there's a lot of like weird guys and people just like singing to the top of their lungs as they're walking down the street, or like some guy just like busts out his guitar on the corner and just starts playing. But it's like, I don't know, I like it. And sometimes near the beach you see all these giant like Winnebagos and stuff, and it's just like people, like old hippies, just camping out and whatever, smoking their pot and whatever. They're cool. Okay, so this is my other piece of aragonite. My blue aragonite. Let's see what else I got in here. Oh, you know, I'm surprised I only have one piece of amazonite. I have it in jewelry form, where I've made lots of pieces of jewelry out of amazonite, but it's one of my really favorite stones, and I don't know, I just have this one piece, which is odd. I have a couple of pieces of lepidolite, which is a stone that I do work with often and I do carry often. I have lepidolite in its raw form too, kind of mixed in a little bit with quartz. See, I'm only pulling out of one tray, so you can already see that you can keep a lot of stones in like one of these trays. And I got it at Michael's for like it was like $15 or $12. But I know you can, I found them on Amazon. You can get these kind of storage bins a lot cheaper there. Thank you, Amazon. Pyrrhusite. This one I use whenever I get injured. So not that I get injured a lot, but you know, since I am an athletic person, I do weightlifting, I do, you know, a lot of different types of cardio and stuff like that. Like, I'm a sporty person, you know, I always have been. Sometimes injuries happen. Sometimes I do stupid things and maybe I twist my back like I'm not supposed to, or I lift my head when it should be in alignment, and you know, so sometimes I hurt myself. And so whenever I do, I put it on the place that, is hurt, so maybe like my shoulder, and I'll just like leave it there while I'm just, resting and recovering. I could like, wrap it with a little piece of gauze. Maybe it's, kind of like a placebo effect where it's like, I think that the stone's healing it, but whatever it is, whether it's my own mind healing myself or it's the stone healing me, I get better faster. So whatever's. Okay, and I have some citrine. One of my citrines is heat-treated amethyst, and my other citrine is a real citrine. And I actually got this in there's a gigantic Ocean Beach or OB like secondhand store where it's just like old estate stuff and everything. And this was in there. There was somebody's rock collection that was in there, and I got a few pieces of their rocks. And it was funny because they had way overpriced the fool's gold. Well, fool's gold. But like this was like $2. And I was like, $2, I'll take it. Oh, thank you, Andrea, for coming by. So yeah, citrine power. Okay, and then and because it's crystalline and I don't want it to break, I keep it on in the front of this case, and I put it on just a little paper towel that I folded up because I try to protect it, and and I'll let like scrape around on the plastic and things like that. So some of my more fragile pieces like this, because I know it is pretty old, or like this that I'm going to show you right now, which is my celestite. Well, this one's on like bubble wrap, like that I got from whenever I bought something else. So I like to reuse pieces, like reuse packaging materials and things like that. And so some of my more fragile stones, I'll put like little bubble wrap in here. Or if you ever get like a piece of jewelry for Christmas or something, and it's got like those little teeny gift boxes, and it's usually got like that little square of foam in there, I think that those are fabulous for that. So like I'm like a reduce, reuse, recycle kind of person. Okay, so I have a couple of things hanging out with that piece of celestite that you guys saw, and I did this stone dirty. So I told you guys before how I spray my my black tourmaline, and I spray my oh, why can't I talk? Gosh, I can't remember. Oh, so my more fibrous, I will say, my more fibrous type stones with a sealant that I get at Michael's, and it's an outdoor sealant, and it's not meant to create a sheen, and it's not meant to dull the material that's being sprayed on. It's mostly meant for like pots and things like that. But it allows my black tourmaline and my my other fibrous materials type stones to not flake off and still retain their luster and everything. And so I think it's great. And so it works so great for that I thought it would work for my crystals, and I sprayed it and it ended up dulling it. So I was like, okay, note to self, don't spray crystals, but spray things that are of that fibrous material. Okay, so in here I also have angelite. And cool story about angelite and this particular piece of angelite that I have. Okay, so I was carrying this like for weeks on end at school, where I teach, and I had it in my sweater pocket, and I went to the ladies' room, and I went to go use the ladies' room and the stone fell out and hit the tile floor, and I was like, oh, no, because I heard this loud crash, and it got these like, where it had bounced across the floor, which I was like mortified, it got these like giant white spots all over it for almost like shattering, wherever it hit the floor. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never taking it to school again. I totally hurt my stone, and I was so careless. And so I left it by my bedside. And And I'm talking, the whole thing almost looked like it was shattered. It had these big white splotches all over it, and I was like, my stone is done for. After 3 or 4 days, it was this again. I mean, it's got a couple of little white marks left so that you guys can see, but I don't have an explanation for that. I was like, is it self-healing? Like, is that like the nature of that particular like chemical composition? Like, I don't really understand that. I mean, have you guys found that where you had a stone that maybe you thought was done for and somehow like fixed itself? But yeah, that's my experience with Angelite. So I was like, dude, if this stone can do it for itself, like what can it do for me? And it does quite a lot. So I highly recommend, you know, if you already have some Angelite, to maybe get to know your Angelite a little bit more, because there's a lot more going on in this little rock than I think I quite understand. Okay, and then in that whole little section, I also have one of my pieces of apophyllite. It's just a little tip that I like to scry with. You know, so usually I kind of look through one of the sides here and just kind of look out, and it's wonderful for scrying, and it's also wonderful for meditation, for kind of like really getting those upper realms. So yeah. Okay, so that's kind of just the one box I wanted to look at for today, because I wanted to talk about one more thing before, you know, making the video too long. Oh gosh, I'm trying to get this thing closed. We got it. So my one of my favorite uncles, he called me last night. No, he is my favorite uncle. And we could talk, like, he's the only family member I have that I can be like me and open. I can talk about, you know, doing witchy type things. I can talk about my mediumship stuff and you know, my weird ass meditations, and you know, and he, you know, in turn tells me, you know, a lot of things about him, you know. And so we always share these things, and we don't always talk, but when we do, it's these like marathon 3 and 4 hour conversations on the phone. We only had a 2.5 hour conversation last night because it was already after midnight, and I was like, I need to go to bed. But he was looking for some guidance, and he was kind of wondering if I could like tap in and see if there was anybody that can help him out. And my Nana, which is his mother, came in. Well, it's also my dad's mother too. And I rarely get to see her. Like, I know her energy is around. I never see her like I do so many other spirits and entities and energies and things like that. So it was kind of cool that she came in the room, but it's like it felt like so many people would come into the room to help him out. And his sister also came in. Well, he has my dad and, you know, his brothers and sisters. They've lost 2 of their siblings over the years. One of them was my aunt that passed away last year, and the other one was my other aunt, but she passed away a couple of years before I was born, and that was by her own hand when she was 17, and that was the sister that came through. And she had this like really like masculine, powerful energy, and my Nana was coming through like full force too, and I was like, whoa. And I was kind of self-conscious because I know how sensitive, you know, he is talking about his mom. And since I never got to meet my aunt, but I have heard like the traumatic experience like my father and he had, and my Nana, kind of around the death of their sister, you know, who died so young. I was trying to almost filter what I was saying, but I felt like I should just blurt out what I was saying. So I told him, is it okay? And I said, because I'm going to be talking about your sister. And I said, it's, you know, and I don't want to like offend you, and I don't want to sound like, you know, I'm trying to hurt your feelings or anything. He's like, no. And it was nothing bad, you know, it was nothing to hurt his feelings. It was just, I always feel, especially around, you know, when he thinks of that person, there's like really only one thing you think about. And so my Nana had jumped in, and she said, he's thinking about the red wagon. And I don't even know what that means. So I was like, Nana says you're thinking about the red wagon. He's like, oh. He's like, yeah. He says, that's something I don't want to talk about. And I was like, whoa. Like, I'm always so amazed, you know. And there was stuff that I was saying that his sister was saying that he was like really resonating with, and was just like, he was like, oh yeah, you know, that's when this and this happened. And for me, I mean, you know, I do so much of this, like, you know, my tarot, my mediumship stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, I feel like I love when I get that validation that it's like, oh, I'm on the right track, you know, because I think maybe it's just ego, maybe it's being human, where, you know, I'll get all these messages out and then I start to second guess myself. I'm like, was that really like something real? Was it my brain making things up, you know? And so sometimes I get a little self-conscious, but I am learning to trust a lot more, which is why I think that a lot of my the things that I can do are just like opening up even more, is because I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. And, you know, and he seemed a lot more upbeat and chipper at the end of our conversation, even though it was after midnight. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. And even the air in my house had like changed. Like, it was so heavy full of people while I was talking to him, and he was asking for guidance and somebody to come through. And then after, it felt like his sister could get her message across, like, whew, it just felt so much lighter, so much happier. I wasn't getting as many cold chills anymore. Yeah, so I thought that was like kind of cool. So yeah. But I don't know. Well, that's the only uncle I'm grateful that I have at least one person in my family that I can be so open with. I've started opening up a little bit more with my dad, and my dad's usually, he has been really closed off in that area, where he'd flat out make fun of you if you said that, you know, like, oh, I feel like there's a presence in the room, and he would, like, you know, oh, it's Casper the Friendly Ghost, you know, he would make fun of that. But now it's like, you know, as I'm like opening up a little bit more, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm saying things that I do. I even told him that I have a tarot business, and my dad's like, well, that's cool. I mean, you're doing good at all your stuff. I guess you could add in another side job. So it's like he's been opening up a little bit more. And then there was one time after he'd had a couple of beers, he was at my house, and I was telling him about, you know, more about my woo-woo stuff. And then he started opening up more, and my his wife, my stepmom, was like, she says, you know, your dad sees stuff, he just doesn't admit that he sees stuff. My dad's like, yeah, well, okay. He says, I do like smell my mother's perfume often, and sometimes I like try to talk to my mom, and it's like, oh my God, you know, my dad started opening up that he says, yes, like he sees stuff and he smells stuff and he feels stuff too. He talked about like having out-of-body experiences. It's like, who am I talking to? Is this my dad? Like, so, and maybe it's old age, maybe, I don't know, but because he's like 77 now, he's been just opening up, you know, a lot more. And my dad was like, you know, your Nana, she also would claim she saw things all the time and things like that. He's all, that just kind of runs in the family. It's like, you got that from me. Yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, as I'm like opening up, there's some of my family that's like, no. And some of my family, it's been kind of, I mean, I haven't been like fully open with them, just because I do get a little self-conscious, but it's been kind of nice how receptive some of them have been, where they're kind of like, okay, so that's what you do too. You're just a unique kind of gal, you know. They're like, you know, you kind of always, you know, but they would tell me, we kind of always saw something like that in you. So I don't know, I think that's kind of cool. All right, so I think we have hit the live chat mark, where I would love to do, it looks like there's only 5 people in here, so that'd be fantastic. I'd love to do a reading for anybody in here, anybody who would like to have maybe like a 1-card draw, using my Santa Muerte deck, my totally awesome new deck. So yeah, let me know if you guys would like me to do Alright, Dead Cheeky, of course. So let me know, do you guys want general? And I'm hoping my Uncle Joe actually watches this video. He says he's trying to get around to watching. He watched one of my videos, but you know, he doesn't always have time to watch them, so maybe he'll watch this one. So do you guys want I mean, the people that want a reading, do you guys want a general reading? Do you want something more specific? Just let me know. Okay, finances. You got it, sister. What I have found about this deck is very chatty. Oh, you would like a general, please? Okay, so Sapphire Lands, you are next. Okay, so all right. But yeah, this is a really chatty deck. Like the cards literally just start flying out left and right, and I'm like, whoa, like one card at a time. Sweet. I got a few people in here for a reading. Excellent, excellent. So we have Dead Cheeky first, and she's asking about finances. Okay, this is the card. So Dead Cheeky, I don't even know if I need to explain. So you said to ask the lady about the card, right? Or about your finances. I think that one's like self-explanatory. Like she literally came through. And what's interesting, and I don't know if the camera's picking it up. So you have, you know, the empty cradle here, but Santa Muerte is pregnant, you know, so I do see that, you know, it's temporary, whatever it is that you're going through right now, that finances will be birthing, or there will be new life being birthed into the finances. So just give it some patience, give it some time. I don't see anything negative, you know, around that. So this is a good sign. You literally got the lady to come through. All right. So Sapphire Lands, I think you said general. I think you said general. Oops. I'm just gonna try that one again. You are very welcome. Whoa, okay. So there was a few cards that wanted to come out, but I'm just gonna take one of the cards. Okay, so here we have the King of Pentacles, and this is for Sapphire Lands. She wanted to have a general reading. Okay, so I'm just gonna sit in this really quick. I don't know why it is. I mean, I'm not like scared of the person in the picture, but I kept getting like a vibe of somebody, a male, keeping something from you, like kind of under lock and key, like not allowing you in, not physically in like a certain place, but like allowing you in maybe emotionally. I know that like Pentacles is meant to be like the material world, the physical world, like your physical body and things like that, but I'm getting more of this person is keeping something from you, whoever this person is, and I don't think they make you feel quite good, you know. So yeah, I don't know if that resonates at all, but I just keep getting like this person's keeping either their feelings or a secret or something from you on purpose, and it's like they're getting like kind of some weird enjoyment out of it, or somehow it's like benefiting them somehow, but in the reverse, it like doesn't, you know, it's not that great for you. So I'm like thinking maybe you cut yourself from this person. I don't think this person is too good for you, whoever this person is, but I am getting a male figure on this. So Let me know, Sapphire Lands, if that makes any sense, but that was what was coming through pretty loud and clear. And then, oh, who was next? I forgot. There was somebody that wanted something very specific, and I think they said specific, so I just want to know what it is that you would like. As I shuffle and cards go flying out. So just let me know. Whoever's next. These are gorgeous cards, by the way. I just like looking at them. They're pretty. Oh, okay. Twin Flame Journey. Okay. Okay. Sure. You could be right after. There's a Twin Flame Journey reading we're gonna do real quick, and then we'll get to your education reading. Okay. All right, so we got the Knight of Swords. There you go. I think you can kind of see it. No problem, Fire of Transformation. Okay, so Knight of Swords. As it pertains to Twin Flame, I was kind of seeing this person as, or at least your journey of kind of taking your thoughts. Okay, how am I going to put this into words? Because there was a few things that were coming out. It was like something like thoughts, you know, like what you want to say is almost like stuck in the throat. Let me put it into words. So sometimes I just need like a little bit more time because there's like too much going on. Okay. So here it is. Okay, so you're headed in the right direction for connecting with a twin flame. And how I'm seeing like a twin flame is not always like romantic, but you're headed in the right direction. However, the thoughts that you're putting out for this person is fantastic. You know, whether this twin flame is just somebody that you're meant to have in your life or you're meant to have in your life romantically. But it seems like your mouth won't speak what your mind is looking for. Your mind and your heart are connected, but it's saying verbally put out into the universe what you want, and it's almost like through the through the airwaves this person's going to hear you. So it's very important to speak out loud what you physically want instead of just think, I want this and I want that. So yay, I'm so glad that helped. Okay, so there was somebody that jumped in that had an education question, but I forgot what that question was. Do you mind posting it again? Or actually, maybe I will. You are very welcome. I think I can look at my messages here. Oh, I can. Okay, so it was Mara Black. Whoa, hold on. Mara Black was asking about career. Okay. Okay. I just realized I could scroll through on your messages. Okay. So Mara Black is asking about education/career because she has been struggling. Oh, Seller Ghosts. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me do this one and then Seller Ghosts. I will get yours next. I'm so sorry. I'm totally not trying to diss anybody right now. Okay. Okay, so what I'm seeing for career education, you're at the very beginning stages right now of things. Here it's like you've planted the seeds almost, and things are starting to flourish, but it seems like a tangled web down here. So yes, like you said, it is a little difficult right now. However, you have the light shining up here. Things are going to be okay. And I know that sounds kitsch and cliche, but just like like I had told somebody else with finances, just patience. You know, you're on the right path. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you know, education wise, and you know, talking to the right people, taking the right courses and things like that, being in the right places at the right time. And although it feels like an uphill battle right now, and that you're trying to pull yourself out of this, what seems like a really dark place right now, it's it's gonna be okay. That's kind of, I'm trying to give you some comfort. It will be okay. But that doesn't mean to sit back and just kind of let the universe take over. Still continue to put yourself out there. Still continue to talk to the people that you need to talk to. And, you know, and whatever your gut's telling you, take this course, be in this place, because that will get you out of the muck, so to speak, you know. So you're going to have to work with the universe, but the universe got your back. So I hope that helps. Okay, Seller Ghosts. I'm going to click this and I'm going to look at your chats again. Okay, so Seller Ghosts, you wanted a general card. Okay. Okay. And P.S. I love your icon is so cute. I love the little ghosty. Oh, wow. Okay. We got the King of Wands. In my channel, this might be beer. I think it is. Okay, so King of Wands. Seller Ghosts. Right away what was coming through was like you... And for some reason, I know this says king, but all genders aside, I think, you know, this is female. This is like, you know, you've got all these great ideas, you know, that you're almost bursting at the seams. For some reason, I don't know why it looks like she's bursting out of her shirt, or if it's even a she, but it's almost like bursting out of the seams, like you're wanting to explode and move forward. And I think that this is the message that you don't have to wait for anything. You don't even have to wait for a message. Like that fire that's inside of you right now, where you're like, you can't wait to just spit it out to people and just like to go and do it. Go and do it. Like you, that is your thing. You know, it's okay to just go and do it. You don't have to wait for a sign. You don't have to wait for somebody to tell you it's okay. I'm so glad that helped you, Mara. But yeah, so Seller Ghosts, I'm seeing this is like, hey, just confirmation that you go do you, because it's gonna be freaking awesome. And I kind of want to know what that is, because I'm getting like this joy and this like you're almost like shaking, like, oh my gosh, like I really want to do this. You can do this. Like that's what you were meant to do. So Seller Ghosts, let me know if that resonates with you. Okay, and then I'm gonna scroll through, now that I know how to scroll through my chats here. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way. Okay, don't do that, because then my finger's in front of the camera. Okay, so I did Dead Cheeky. I did Sapphire Hands, and then I did Kitty L. And Mara. Oh wow, Sapphire Hands. I just now read what you were talking about with your ex. So yeah, totally just let that guy go. Okay, did I get everybody? So you are very welcome, Cellar Ghosts. Oh yeah, definitely like actor, speaker. So yeah, let me know if I got everybody. I don't want to leave anybody out. Well, everybody, you know, everybody wants reading. I don't know. I feel like there's one. Okay, there's one more. Oh, there is one more. I do have time. Mystical College. I was like, I feel like there's one more. I'm not quite done yet. So Mystical Cottage. Would you like general or something specific? And then I think we have everybody. You guys ever get like songs stuck in your head? Like my go-to song is from was it I can I don't know, health issues is like when I mean I could give you a reading on it, but I would say don't take it as, because I'm not a doctor. So like always like consult your doctor. So I'm put that out there, but I can do like a look into so I can do a look into it for you. I wouldn't mind, but yeah, just know I'm not not a doctor. Okay. Well, anyway, I have the okay, general. Okay. No, I get that it's like from Fraggle Rock, or it's from Sesame Street. I think it's Fraggle Rock, where it's like dun 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 dun. Mana, mana. Okay, it's the Muppets. Mana, mana. Dun, dun, da, da, da. Mana, mana. Sorry, I'm dork. Okay, so Mystical Cottage, I'm gonna do a general for you. And for some reason, okay, so all the cards flew out, but while they were flying out, I had this weird image of like a really swollen like purple leg, which is, that was strange. Anyway, like a prayer. Yes. So, oh my God, now you guys got like a prayer in my head while I'm doing Santa Muerte, and no problem. We were talking about Madonna's Like a Virgin and Like a Prayer last night while we were at dinner. So that's funny that, you know, you guys brought that up, that's your go-to head song. Life is a mystery, everyone is scared of love. I hear you call my name, and that one is is for my girly girl. I got it right. This stuff always amazes me when like stuff like clicks in. Yeah. Okay. So before I read your card, so when I was shuffling the cards and like all these cards like exploded out, it was like crazy energy. And I had this vision of this like swollen purple leg. Oh, it's both legs. Okay. So with that, oh, I'm so glad, Dead Cheeky. So with that, the Page of Pentacles had come through, and like I mentioned earlier, Pentacles is supposed to be like your physical world, your physical body, and things like that. And what I'm getting is like, so yeah, one's worse than the other. I'm so sorry to hear that, by the way. Okay, so the lady's got a purse here, right? And she's kind of dropping these coins in. And what I was hearing is like, you might be feeling right now that going to the doctors and getting these exams and checkups, it just seems like it's such a drop in such a large bucket. You know, like there isn't that one thing that's just gonna like help fix things right now. It seems like it's just like a little, just like it's a little bit, but it's not quite gonna fix everything right now. So you're kind of looking for that, I need it, you know, just get it done. And it just seems like everything's been a drop in the bucket. But what I do hear is that eventually, with that many drops in the bucket, that bucket is gonna fill up, and eventually they are going to come to some sort of realization on how to help you. I don't know, like for cure or what it is that, you know, would cause swelling in your legs, but you know, that at least they would know how to manage it and how to set you on the right path. So by going to all these different visits, oh my gosh, eventually, you know, it's going to pan out. It just seems like, you know, yeah, definitely financially, it's gonna be costly. So yeah, so I don't know if that helps, but you know, definitely with enough of these types of visits, as expensive as they are, something good will come with it. You know, maybe not like a total fix, but at least managing it so that you're not things aren't the way they are right now. So I hope that helps. And actually, if you don't mind, do you mind if I send you a quick healing? It wouldn't take like too much time here on camera for everybody, so it's not like you're gonna see me sit here too long with my eyes closed. But if you don't mind, I can send you something really quick. Okay. So I mean, I'm not like a super healer or anything, but I will try to send you some vibes. Okay, so usually when I do this, when I'm sending people healing, and it doesn't take me that much time, I usually pull a card to see kind of how that helped you, so, or what's going towards you. And if you want to know what I'm doing with my hands are open. Okay. Okay, so I sent you some good juju. I don't know if it's going to be tons of help, but I thought it would just help at least a little bit. I don't know how I was like seeing you on your end. It was like you were in a green chair, and well, at least in my mind's eye, like how I saw you, it was like you were in a green chair, and you had taken off your glasses and like had wiped your eye. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of what I saw. And so I try to send you some good juju. At least, you know, I try a little bit. I try to help you guys. Okay, so like I said, let me pull just one more card to kind of see like how that helped, if it helped any. But it's kind of what I want to. I don't know if I voiced that to any of you guys before, but that's kind of something I do in private now. Is, you know, I'm kind of talk to some of my peeps on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you know, people that have like some health issues, and no problem. So yeah, I definitely hope that helps. But I've been trying to do energy work where I'm trying to send healing. Like, it's something I'm working on, but it's not something that I've like totally voiced yet. But it's something that I've been trying to do, is really helping my friends and family and things like that. So it's kind of something I'm trying on the side. Anyway, so pulling a card for... Okay, good. So it looks like Chariot. At least it got to you, so that's good. All right, so I'm off to go have some lunch. My tummy is grumbling and didn't mean to keep you guys on too long, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this live chat. I loved playing with some crystals, playing with some decks. You got some pink tummy from my little Walito. Yeah, and I hope you guys all enjoyed your readings, and I'm wishing you guys all a wonderful day and sending you all much love and many blessings. So yes, I hope you enjoy your weekend as well, Solar Ghosts. Thank you all that let me read for you. I'm always so grateful when, you know, you guys let me pull some cards for you guys. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. Yes, thank you, Fire Transformation, Mystical Cottage. Thank you guys, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in a live chat next week as we get closer to Halloween. P.S. My boyfriend said I was wearing the wrong clothes for the live chat because, you know, those like costume onesies things that they have now, like for adults. I bought a unicorn one, and he's like, why aren't you in your unicorn outfit? So maybe next Saturday I'll wear my unicorn outfit. So I'll see you guys next weekend. I'll upload some more awesome videos. I do have 3 mediumship readings that I promised some people for next week, so you'll definitely get those videos. Yeah, have an awesome weekend. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out, y'all.